and I'm delighted to share with this distinguished audience my thoughts on the theme or the topic given to me by the organizers, which is broadcasting and Nigeria's ethno-cultural and religious divide. Let me, right from the beginning, say that this is really not a lecture, but I would like to say what I'm about to do is to lead a serious national conversation on very important national issue and a call to action, because we've had no shortage of lectures in this country and we should have more. But what is important is to have a conversation, and conversations that lead to action. And therefore, my presentation today will of necessity be in the context of the challenges and options essential for stabilizing the Nigerian polity and enthroning and enduring peace, national unity, and inclusive democratic governance in our country. In this regard, please bear with me. My basic premise and starting point will be as follows. The real divide, in my opinion, in Nigeria is not ethnicity, it's not culture, it's not religion. Rather, they are the misuse of these elements of our national identity. I will also add, it is also the perpetration of inequality along class and regional lines in our country. In a minute, I will expatiate. But the gaps, the real gaps, and imagined gaps, the manipulated gaps, must be bridged through conscious national integration efforts aimed at promoting unity and equitable socio-economic development and democratic consolidation. And in bridging this gap, new messages of national solidarity and strength in our diversity should be escalated to counter the dubious narratives of ethno-cultural and religious divide being perpetrated, especially by politicians, the closer we get to national election time. As a political scientist, and I know that Professor Mbachu, who is going to be a discussant, will like to hear what I'm about to say, and I would like for it to be part of the discussion, that apart from the misuse of our diversity, which we now list as a divide, the real divide, in my opinion, in this country are the following. First, violent extremism and terrorism. And just as the perpetrators of violent extremism and terrorist acts do not respect or recognize national boundaries, they do not respect religions, they do not respect ethnicity, they do not respect cultural affinities. And that is why we have to unite against them, because it's really them versus us. And in doing so, adopt strategies at the national, regional, continental, and global levels to defeat them. Because if we don't defeat them, they will defeat us, and we will have no country to call our own. The second real divide, in my opinion, is the growing poverty and economic inequality in our countries. I've seen recent figures which show that in 1980, those living below poverty line, which is at the UN estimated are living on less than $2 per day, constitute, listen to this, 6.2% of our population. The estimate now is that they are up to 44.2% of our total population. And you may quarrel with the figures, plus or minus a few percentage points. But the reality is staring us in the face. In fact, of recent, United Kingdom Prime Minister said a couple of days ago that the numbers of those living below poverty line in Nigeria is about 87 million people. making Nigeria, and I quote, these are not my words, these are our own, making Nigeria to have more very poor people than any other nation in the world. We have no business being in such categories. We have enormous mineral, natural resources, but more importantly, our people are the most industrious in the world. And citizens of Nigeria perform at global levels in a competitive environment. We have no business being home to the largest number of the poorest people in the world. And I think it's also a recognition that this is not a flattering statistic, that our Vice President, Professor Oshibajo, said recently that his administration has committed $500 billion to poverty alleviation, which is very welcome. But we can do more than that. It's not just about poverty alleviation, it's about moving millions of our people out of poverty. And it's been done elsewhere. In India, in China, millions lifted out of poverty. That's what we should be about.